is going on, fellow humans and resellers? It is I, James, RateOptionAgency.com. 22 years selling full-time on eBay. All right. Well, I wasn't going to make a video today, and I'm like, no, you're making a video, James. I'm like, I don't really have anything to talk about. And I'm like, yes, you do, James. It's like, it's about the items you sell also. I'm like, oh, okay. So I got some good items from storage that I've sold. As well as an item from summer that I just listed that I was doing on the Found on Friday series that got away from me. I get tired of doing those series after a while, and I just like give up on them. I got to find a way to do something interesting but shorter, so I don't get just tired. And it's really hard to keep track now on eBay, the way eBay's set up when you archive your sales, because it doesn't give me the numbers anymore. So it's a little bit more time consuming, and so when it gets longer and longer, it gets more time consuming since the numbers aren't there. I have to physically go in, add them up and stuff, and unfortunately it just gets old after a while and I abandon it. So, but anyway, today is Tuesday. Yesterday, problems with the site. System error. When I was trying to list stuff, every once in a while, I'd get one or two that would say system error. Those usually don't create problems. They just pop up and you can continue with what you're doing and it lists them anyway. So what those are based off of, I don't know. eBay kept freaking me out yesterday because I've got over 1,000 drafts. And so I was drafting, listing, both, but several times throughout the day, I would go back into drafts and there would be nothing there. Like, refresh, and then they're there. So yesterday throughout the day, I kept saying I had 0 drafts when they're there. I always tell myself I'm going to memorize the line, but that blank screen you saw the other day, upstream, disconnect, or whatever it says. And then customers who can't pay, still an issue. And it was on items that I took offers on, so that could have something to do with it, being that we know the offers are still a total train wreck. And that whole system has changed with the items not ending now, some of the items not ending now when offers are accepted. So still a huge, big train wreck on that end. But let's see. Sales for me stopped at 8:40 last night. 8:40 p.m. Everything just shut off. Then I had one sale at 3:45, then one at 5:20, one at 6:30, and then nothing until I started taking offers when I woke up. So very early bow out yesterday, but it doesn't surprise me being there were so many issues with the website. Is that the same? All right, I got 2 emails. That's the same item. 034. 034. Let me make sure they didn't order 2. I got 2 emails here for the same item. One said they paid at $7.59, and another one said they paid at $8.02. And it is only one. So, not sure what's going on there. And I woke up on Facebook and saw Toby Keith passed away. I guess it was from stomach cancer. At 62 or 63 years old. And I'm like, I got plenty of Toby Keith in my store. I'm surprised nothing's sold. And while I was pulling, one sold. So, life's a bitch. All right. So yesterday I only made it up to, well, $418. So at least I know I'm going to make my low end goal with the lows since I'm promoting so low. Down 6.8%, which I expect that number to start going down, but hopefully the number, we'll know long term, the numbers, the profit actually going into my account should be at the same or more. So for the first 5 days, I do everything in 5 days increments so that I can make changes if necessary. And I have 6 chances in a month to do stuff. So the first 5 days, I was actually up over last month when it comes to profit made, even though it says I'm down 7%. So that's a good thing. And because I had some decent sales that did sell overnight, money-wise, not volume-wise, I'm at $140 this morning. And we're at 930. So we'll get to those items in a bit. Let's see what the split was yesterday. Because as you know, I'm going to try to find that balance where I'm at the same promoted and same organic and see if that's like a perfect spot to be when it comes to the profit. So 22 items sold yesterday, so not very much. 14 organic, 8 promoted. I did have like a 4-hour midday shutdown also yesterday. At noon to like 4. So this morning, 4 items sold, 3 promoted, 1 organic. Rest of the numbers don't even matter right now because everything's going to be changing since. Before I can really look at the numbers, I got to wash away the 15 to 20% I was doing. So that's probably not going to happen until we're around the 27th of this month, which is basically the end of the month. So beginning of March is when I'm really going to be able to start looking at those numbers again, because now they're just going to be total opposites. So no point in wasting my time there. Questions and comments. Just when I think things are fixed, sold 10 items on Sunday, which is pretty normal. 0 sales yesterday. This is my 3rd 0 sale day in the last 30 days. I've been doing this 15 years and have never seen eBay this broken. And I remember something too yesterday being so horrible. They usually always seem to do something Sunday nights when it comes to something major when it comes to the updating. Seems like they do maintenance or updates almost every night, but Sunday always seems like the big one. Whatever they're doing is big for the week, and it usually will either totally trash Monday or make it explosive, one or the other. It's just hit and miss, it seems like. If I was in your shoes, I would start moving media in large lots and start trying to find better inventory. The phone app hasn't worked since the last update. All I do is take pictures on the app, so pictures have been working fine. Let's see. I could imagine that eBay is cutting so many jobs because of AI and AI use and not bad quarterly figures. Yeah, I think when the figures come out, it's going to be where the profit lies. I'm looking at the total income made, not necessarily the bottom line of the quarter earnings. And then also the profit promotion, the advertising situation. See if it's balanced out or gone down. That's where I'm looking at. But yeah, I mean, they're cutting costs other ways with employees. But that being said too, this AI thing, they have to have techs working on it because it's a complete mess, and it 1 minute it seems like it's improving, then it goes back to 0, it seems like. So I'm sure they've got a lot of tech hours on this AI stuff they're trying to hone in and use properly, because it seems like it's always a long way away from it working the way it should. Apparently reports about listings and also inquiries about reviews are now automatically answered by AI. Wouldn't surprise me. They're just, like I said before, it seems like they're just trying to become a hands-off platform where there's nothing but what you see. That's all you get. I reported some response to that. Yep, I reported some listings yesterday that clearly were violations. Do people do that? Like, I don't do that. Like, if I see something violating it, I just move on. It's none of my business. Like, I always look at it as, who am I? You know? That's the way I always kind of look at it and move on. I got back AI responses that there was no issues with the listing. Because the way I look at it too, when I see that, I'm like, I don't know everything, so I could be wrong. So I'm not going to jeopardize being a little bit wrong and mess up somebody's life if I'm a little bit wrong. So I always look at it like that when I do that, see stuff that's kind of off. I can see it going the other way, where people have authentic items and AI flags them as counterfeits. And that comes into play with brand in the title, but you're using a different brand in the item specifics. Learned that the hard way with Budweiser and those other hats that were taken down, because there are not on Budweiser hats, because Budweiser is not technically a brand of hat, but you have to use the major brand that you're representing as the item specific brand, which is totally ass backwards, but what are you gonna do? I've set all my listings to local pickup. eBay seems to like this. At least that's the case in Germany. As soon as I put all the listings on local pickup, sales went through the roof and are still stable. I've got 3 accounts. Similar effects on all accounts. Yeah, but if you only do local pickups, you're going to limit your sales to nobody else in the world but people within 20 minutes of driving around you. It kind of eliminates things. My orders are strong with some slow movements. Always enjoying your videos, no matter what the content is. Very entertaining and informative. Maybe you could take us to the bins more often. That was fun. Or more in-depth look in your basement or storage rooms. Anyway, keep up the great content and high spirits. High spirits. Had a few sales, but when customers went to purchase multiple items, the site tells them the seller does not combine shipping. As a matter of fact, I do combine shipping. Yep. That's the biggest problem in my eyes right now. Well, one of the biggest problems in my eyes right now. 0 sales today between eBay and Poshmark. I've had absolutely no traffic at all for about a week. No sales, no offers, no one to send offers to, no feedback, no nothing. It's like I've been completely shut off. But Poshmark sales oddly increased this week. Go figure. Seems like that's been the trend for the past year for some people. Not sure what happened, but I had no sales today or yesterday either, and offers are not coming in at all. Instead, they went from 18 the other day to 4 today. Somehow I need to go full-time within the next couple of months to avoid burning out from my job. So I really need to make something work for me in the near future. And that is just getting out there, put more time into finding high sell-through rate items is going to be the best route for you. Unless you're sitting on a lot of stuff. And if you're sitting on a lot of stuff, just get it listed. So those are going to be your 2 best options. That's why not paying too much attention to the details anymore of the numbers, at least for quite a while. I can just zone in on getting stuff listed from storage, and it's paying off. So, Hot garbage reminds me of my old full-time job. Not sure there. All right, let's do some shipping. Boom, 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 boom. Yep, I got everything pulled. All right, we've got an Australia order and a Canada order. Remove. All right, first up is the one that just sold while I was pulling, Toby Keith's Unleashed CD. Sold for $7, headed to Surprise, Arizona. I finally ordered all my supplies yesterday, so those are coming, well, a majority of them's coming today. I just went ahead with Uline so I can get them quick. Since I've waited so long, I pushed it back. So it's been $2,000 on supplies, but those supplies should last me quite a while. Except for the hat boxes, I only ordered 500 hat boxes. But I piled up on everything from poster tubes to, so I got tons of posters to get listed, but I don't have very many poster tubes, so I think I got like 100 poster tubes. So some of the stuff I went a little overboard on, but it'll last me for a while. And some different odd sized boxes to help with some of the odd stuff I'm starting to pull out of storage and get listed and stuff. So should last for a minute. So that should be here today. And then Giro Pack, affiliate link below. Use Urban Picker as a code, save 10%, and now it looks like you can only use that code one time. I tried using it again yesterday and decided you already used it. So I guess they made it a one-time use only, but you can save 10% if you've never ordered from Giro Pack before by using my affiliate link. That's polybags and bubble mailers. Also, the Vendu link while I'm talking affiliates is below. If you want to use Vendu to start cross-posting, save 25% on your first month. And that's all my sales pitches for now. Next up, item I pulled from storage. Like a lot of my storage is stuff that I picked up at the bins or whatever. So over the years. And just stuff at the time I never got to because I was always focused in on more like hats and media. So a lot of the oddball stuff I would just throw aside and it would just kind of get lost in time. So I've got a Samsung digital camera here from storage. It sold for $36, headed to Brooklyn with a little Case Logic case. So, I got all kinds of stuff in storage. Not just stuff from the days when I had store buyouts of media. But when my dad was here, when I'd run over to the bins and grab hats, and then Adrian would go over sometimes before he was working his job and grab hats for me. I was grabbing so many hats per day I couldn't keep up, so there's a lot of hats in storage. Along with, and another thing I always grabbed but never really liked putting up, probably the two biggest things that were always like got thrown aside first and foremost were shoes and purses. So I got tons of shoes and purses thrown aside. So you're definitely going to see shoes and purses increase in my store. And of course clothes. Probably jeans also. Like I always grabbed good jeans, but they always got thrown aside. And then oddball stuff. And a lot of electronics. Because you have to test them first, so I always just throw them aside. So I've got stacks and stacks of electronics in storage. Another thing that got thrown aside this summer, picked up for $2.25 on one of the Found on Friday videos at a thrift store. If you remember, I bought those car stereos for like a couple of dollars. Whoa, do not fall out. At the same time, laying with them was these bags of various knobs and buttons and stuff from stereos and TVs. Just a hodgepodge of all different sizes and styles. So I put that up a few days ago. And that sold for $45. So I paid $2.25 for it in the summer. And turned it into $45. So let me get that $2.25 off there. And now I put a hole in it. Let's take that up. And it's headed to Jacksonville, Florida. So, something a lot of people would just pass up on. My uncle used to work on old tube radios and TVs and stuff. So I always knew there, and then plus I put in stereos when I was younger for people. My brother used to put in stereos for people in their cars and stuff. So I just kind of figured there's going to be value there. Anytime there's like a collection of things, it doesn't really matter what the collection is if you think about the time it took to put that collection together. How many stereos and TVs and or whatever was worked on or this person took in over time that didn't work. How long did it take to put that bag of knobs together? Well, somebody who's still doing that type of stuff today is going to appreciate that. So. And they'll pay for it. Because you never know what they're working on and how hard it might be to get knobs and stuff. So Wayne. And that sounds like an old school name. Wayne. And speaking of something out of storage that I got a lot of, I've been putting up some purses lately. So we got a Victoria's Secret purse that sold. Pure Seduction. Sold for $13.50, headed to Santa Ana, California. Fit in here. Just a little bit too small. Maybe, yep. Forcing that. I don't know why I bought these big old bags. I think I made a mistake. So this time I made sure I bought smaller ones. Either I made a mistake or they made a mistake. Who knows? Didn't pay attention, I guess. And we'll just do 15, 13 for Vicky. They had all the different colors, but I just grabbed the white because I know nobody grabs the white, so there would be no delay in getting my product sent out to me, and they were sent out last night, so on Giro packs. So also, so like, plus they're easier to write on when it comes to names. can use any color marker. Don't have to be a silver one. Next up, we got Tractor Beverage Company hat. Sold for $6.50, headed to Upper Arlington, Ohio. This is the one I got 2 emails on for some reason. And if I remember right, I got 2 emails on the sold also because I thought maybe he bought 2 hats. So I don't know why this particular listing generated 2 sold, and then when he paid, 2 paid. So I'm not sure what was different about that listing compared to the rest. Matt. This next one, I got a note from the person. Since an offer, I put these up yesterday, some old books I had picked up at the bins. They ended up not being worth much, but when I find old books without barcodes that look like this, I'm picking them up just in case. It's only like 1/4 inch, unless they changed their prices, I don't remember. No, actually, this was at the St. Vincent bin, so they were they 50 cents a book, I think. It might be. I think so. But a school teacher said she's buying this to show her class the difference between books then and books today. So the Essentials of Arithmetic, sold for $5, headed to Pennsylvania. That might be a little wide. Cassette tape for $7 or $6.30, I should say. Thought it said $6.79. That's the U.S. stuff. Yeah, the way I'm kind of looking at eBay now, since we know that it's not working properly, right? So like before, I was always fixated on moving items, the number of items, get them gone type of thing. Now I'm just kind of looking at it, as long as I make my money, everything can sit because it'll eventually sell it. If the site ever gets to working properly, hopefully it will be at least to where it was and or better, and this things will start moving again. So that's just kind of the way I'm looking at it, while I just plow through my storage areas. I don't even know how many items I got listed right now. I could be close to 53,000 and I wouldn't know because the numbers haven't been correct forever. It was reading 49 yesterday also. What's it reading today? Kimberly. I got a couple internationals. I'll wait for that page to load. Next up was an item we got on the trip. Paid $1 for this Donald Duck scrub top. Got the Smoky Mountains. I gotta freaking clean my system out today. I overate yesterday and the day before, and I just feel so bloated and blah. All right, what are we reading? Let me put it on US. Forgot about that. We're reading 221,000 on all the sites for $3.5 million worth of inventory listed. $3.5 million worth of inventory listed across all the eBay sites. And I do $400 a day. Here it says research prices eligible 52,400 and something. And now when I went to US only, it's saying 49,746. But then that one's saying 49,996. So no number is correct. Actually, that first one was probably the closest to correct. 52,400. That's about where I'm at, somewhere in there. So we got the Scrub going to Australia. Sold for $19. I think that's Australia dollars, so it's probably more like 12. More like 12. Alright, used t-shirt, we'll just put it as. And 6, we'll put it like $12. Used shirt. All right. So this next thing, I bought some water bottles in hopes to try to drink more water, because just normal water, I can't drink it unless I'm thirsty. I can't just sip on it all day. So I tried these Air Ups that have flavor pods, and supposedly the flavor gets in your nose and supposed to make it taste like you're drinking flavored water. All it did for me is give me a headache, massive headache. So it was like buy one, get one or something. So I bought one, got one for Jan. After it didn't work for me, she didn't even want to try it. So I listed them up for sale. So this one wasn't even open. Mine was tried once. And then I put the pods up in a separate item listing. So this one sold for $25. So just trying to recoup some of my money from my mistake. I think I paid $100 for it all. So I got this one up for $25, mine up, since it's bigger, for $35. And then the pods I got up for $20. So let's see how much money I can recoup back. Kind of had a feeling it wasn't going to really work. But hey, I'm all for trying something new. It ain't going to kill me. All right. Go on box. So we're on 13 by 8 by 6. 1, 8. And water bottle. So yesterday I got what? Some odd stuff listed. Hats listed. Got comics listed. Those books listed. See what I'm going to be listing today. All right, so I got to go the opposite there. So I got more hats and then a bunch of cassettes, some CDs, and some clothing, shirts, jeans, jackets, and CDs. So that's 100. So if I get past 100 today, then I got a bunch of more clothes and odds and ends, plush, toys, Christmas items. So there we go. And then I'll be taking more pictures, also adding to that. So pulled a box out of storage yesterday. 2 boxes, actually. Actually, the one I'm not fully complete with, and it's like all hats. So my picture taken today will be more hats to add to the queue of items to be coming in the future. So that is it. That is all. Nothing's, well, we had one sell. So I'm at $157 at 10 a.m. That's where my lowish end where I like to be. And the higher dollar items helped me get there. So pulling items from storage helped me get there, basically. On a picture of my office where I put showed the new blankets, sheets I put up at the top. I love the freaking look, office of a real businessman. Keep it up, brother. Stay positive. For all the peeps out there. When I grew up, if I wanted my own room, it was in the basement. So you have the basement rock walls, and if you know what the pillars like in a basement or whatever. So I always use blankets and sheets to just create my own atmosphere. Even the walls, because we're in a basement, so there's really no walls. So I would just make sheets or blankets and stuff out of into walls, and then cover the ceiling. They would kind of drape on the ceiling, and I'd have posters on the brick walls and or sheets or blankets. And when I got my kitty, she had followed me home at like 6 a.m. one time, about 4 blocks, and I went inside at like 6:30, thinking, nah, it's a little kitten. I'm like, maybe she'll go back home, find her way back, where she was. Got up about 10:30, went outside to leave, and she was still there. I'm like, oh, I got to take her in now. So I took her in. She lived to be like 21 years old. When I moved in with Jan and stuff, when we moved together, I had to leave her with my parents because Adrian's allergic to cats. So, but for most of the time, we were in this basement together because she stayed down there with me. And she loved having the blankets as walls and draping up the top. She was always climbing them, going up into the top of the rafters up there. She would hang over. She'd be in the ceiling looking down, hanging over the blankets, looking at people. Or I remember several times, like I have friends over, we'd be sitting there, and she'll just come running and just scurry up the blankets hanging as the walls and scare the crap out of my friends. It was always so funny to watch. But she was a little character. But she loved the blankets and the sheets as well. So anytime when I get a room, office, whatever, I usually do that stuff, and it got good memories with it. So, and where it came from. And my kitty. Stop it, James. God. Anytime I talk about memories lately, just gets me more than seems like before. Like, that's an old memory. But hey, had a good life. Good memories. Guess that's a good thing. I'm not looking back at horror, horror memories that are keep me up at night or whatever. So it's good. It's good to have. I'm starting to appreciate them more. So I've been catching myself kind of doing that. I'm gonna try to talk normal here. Trying to just pull out while I'm kind of in this like vegging state. Just mentally going back and pulling all the positives I can out of everything. So just been taking a mental journey, and while I'm there, trying to, I guess kind of take advantage of my past to make me appreciate it more and see if that helps me grow in whatever way, whether that's mentally or just being a better person, whatever the case may be. Maybe that's kind of part of growing up, you start, I've always said I'll never grow up, but maybe part of growing up is the memories, the good memories you collect. So I'm just making sure I go back and collect them all. Maybe. But on the other front, I'll never stop being, 53-year-old, I'll be 53 this month. 53-year-old person hangs blankets from their ceiling, How many 53-year-old people have that? So in those aspects, I'll never grow up. Just never been one to want to conform to society's rules. Because who are they to tell me what I shouldn't enjoy? I always got a kick out of people who say, try to use that kind of like an age matters when it comes to the way you think or the way you do things or something like that. I always want to keep a grasp of the youth in me too, because if you feel young, it's not how old you are, it's how young you feel. So and if you can't enjoy it, what's the point? There is no point. Gotta enjoy it. All right, that's enough jumbling, muddling. I can't even talk lately. Mumbling. Simple words I'm losing. I'm just not turned on. My mind's not turned on. That's why I'm losing all these words. I'm just like, everything's just turned off. I'm just kind of, I don't know, I'm kind of just floating, seeing what the next step is going to be for me. To everything. Things changed in the household, obviously. Things are changing with the business, obviously. So I'm just kind of using that as, since all that's kind of just changing and stuff, what can I change about me along with it all, for the positive? Definitely, getting my body in better condition, which has still got a lot of work to do there. But I hate exercising in the cold. It's no fun. So I've kind of put that off. But today I'm going to attempt to, it's like today might be a high ibuprofen day, since I'm going to try to go no caffeine today, get off that. Even that Coke Zero, you know, that stuff's not good for you. Even if it don't have sugar in it. Real sugar, anyway. That's like an addiction. Caffeine's an addiction, man. And then overeating still. Like yesterday, I'm like, why am I eating? I don't want to be eating this. What? So I'm trying to improve, like, my thought process too. I'm like, what's making me snack so much? Why am I snacking so much? You're focused in on what you're doing, work-wise. What's going to make you stop snacking all day? Like, oh, I'll go grab one cookie here. Ooh, got a few M&Ms. It's not like I'm pigging out, but I'm snacking a little bit throughout the day. And it's like, why are you doing that? Oh, look, we got chocolate ding-dongs. So I'm trying to find that level of what makes you snack, and should I even worry about it? Or should you trying to, I don't know, I'm trying to rethink that whole scenario too. Like, does it even matter whether I'm 180 or 195? Does it really even freaking matter? As long as I'm happy. Does it really? Does 15 pounds cause that much of a difference in the body? You know? Probably so. Probably at least energy level. Not trying to make excuses, just trying to kind of evaluate it all. I know that losing weight's a good thing. I know that. No, just trying to go down new roads. Different roads. See where it leads me. See what comes out of it. Just kind of exploring the changes. And try to be something I've never been before, or do something I've never done before. All right, I'm going to the post office, and I will talk to you all later. Thanks, everybody, for all the likes, supports, watches, and all that good stuff, and I will see you all in the next video later.